Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ninja Chickens channel. My name is Maria, and you can find me on Instagram as ninja.chickens, on Ravelry as Ninja Chickens, and you can find the show notes on my website, ninjachickens.org. I hope you all are doing really well this morning. It's been a wonderful Monday morning here. It's Monday the 20th of November, I believe. And last night we had our first big frost, and we woke up this morning. Both kids actually thought it had snowed because there was so much frost on the ground. And right now it's in that stage where the sun is coming up in the sky and everything is sparkly out there, and it's really pretty. I wanted to podcast outside, but it's just a little too cold. I thought by the time I get everything set up out there, I'm going to be ready to come back in because my hands will be too chilly. But yeah, it's been really nice. It's nice to finally have some cool weather. How have you guys been? Are you enjoying the end of your November? And is everything going well? In the States, on this Thursday, we'll have Thanksgiving, so we're going to be spending some time with families. My sister's coming into town, which will be nice. She lives about 4 hours from here, so that'll be nice to see her. I really only see her a couple of times a year during the holidays. So, yeah, we've done a really big decluttering and cleaning of our house, trying to just, when we close things up for the winter, things get dusty faster, there's more spiders in the winter. It just feels more cluttered when the windows are closed up and the doors are closed for the winter. And with the wood stove going, there's, more dust around. So we did a really big cleaning and trying to tidy up and declutter things, get rid of those knickknacks and things that don't really serve us anymore. So it feels nice in here. And I know that things will be coming in for the holidays. We'll be getting a tree soon. So I'm excited to be in my clean house. I don't clean my house very often. I figure I want to remember the memories that we make, playing, doing things as a family, the yarn and knitting stuff that I do over the amount of time that I would be spending cleaning if I were trying to pick up after everyone all the time. So maybe one day I'll have a clean house. Anyway, you are here for fiber, more than likely. Hi. So I have, this is a knitting, fibery, spinning, eco-printing-ish, homeschooling-y podcast. It's kind of everything. So I'm going to be talking about some knitting today, some spinning today. We have a knit along going on and a couple of acquisitions, and then I wanted to show you a few things that the kids and I have been up to. So the first thing I'll start with is my first finished object, my only finished object, but I'm close with another one. And it is my Fern and Feather sweater. Whoop. And this is by Jennifer Steingass, who is becoming very known for all of her beautiful yoked sweater patterns. I love it. It's so cozy. It fits really well. I have a 37-inch bust, so I knit actually the 43.5 size because I'm using a DK weight instead of a worsted, which is what the pattern calls for, the worsted weight. So to get gauge and get a sweater that had about 4 inches of positive ease, I knit a 43.5. And it came out really well. It's big and cozy, but not so big that it doesn't look like it fits well. I put an extra 2 inches in the sleeves because the pattern had it falling right around your wrist, and I like it when it comes farther down my hand. And I put probably about another 1.5 to 2 inches in the body also, so that it would fall farther down my hips. And I think it came out really well. The gray yarn is Lana Rara, which is a rare Swiss wool yarn. And then the black is one that I had spun out of Cormo and alpaca, and it's super soft. And it seems like lately I've been knitting a lot of things out of Letlopi, which is a fabulous Icelandic yarn. But it's rustic, it's somewhat itchy, and I don't mind it, but man, it's nice to have this on my skin. Like, I don't have to have a t-shirt under this because it's so soft. It's definitely a cozy around the house sweater. And this, it was easy. As far as color work goes, you're just working with two colors. You're not switching between other colors. You're not having, it's not extremely detailed, but it turns out to be a really beautiful pattern. So I know there are some of you out there who are wanting to knit your first colorwork sweater. This is a really nice pattern to start with. I would say it's a simple pattern. There's not a lot of, crazy details. There's no crazy details. And the colorwork I felt like was pretty easy to get through. So I would recommend it. There is a colorwork sweater knit along going on in my Ravelry group, and there's a lot of people who have joined. So there's a bunch of projects going on, some that have never knit a colorwork sweater, some that have done tons of them, and lots of chit chat going on in the chatter thread. So you should go check it out if you're interested. It runs through January, so there's still lots of time to knit a colorwork sweater. So that's it. That's my only finished object. I worked a lot on the sweater and a lot on my other works in progress. So let me show you those. My next work in progress you saw last week, and it is my Soulbane sweater. Let's show you the front side. It is almost done. It's knitted and blocked and all the ends are woven in. The next step is to get it on my sewing machine and sew down either side of this center strip and cut it. So this is going to be a cardigan, so I will sew on either side of this strip and then cut down the middle and add on a button band, and then it's done. So it's very close. I hope to have this done next podcast. Maybe I can finish it over the Thanksgiving break. This was another one that was not hard at all either. The only difference is that there are some spots in here where you carry 3 colors at a time instead of 2. And I personally would probably recommend that if you're going to do your first color work, you just use 2 colors. And save a pattern that has 3 colors for when you're feeling a little more comfortable with how to hold your yarn and tension and stuff like that. But it was easy. Since I've done a few color work things before, this I felt like was really easy, and I really love the pattern. I think it's beautiful, and I like that it has the color work on the cuff and on the bottom also. So this one is called the Soulbane's cardigan, and it's by Mary Jane Mucklestone. And this one I also did in Let Lopey. It was the recommended yarn, and I've knit with it before, and I really like it. So this will be a really nice outerwear cardigan. Almost done with that one. And then the other work in progress is one you have not seen yet, and this is a test knit that I've been doing for Christina Danai, and she's ex-Tina with Wolves. And I saw her posting this, I think it was in her Instagram stories. It was on Instagram. And it's a hat, and I just fell in love with it. I thought, that is really beautiful. I'd like to knit that. And I really wanted to knit it for my husband. So when she called for testers, I said yes. It wasn't due till January 1st, and I knew that I would have the time to knit it. So I'm still working on it, and she said it was okay to show it. So this is part of it. And the yellow is a really soft blend. Let me pull out. It's superwash merino, cashmere, and nylon. An MCN blend by Twisted Finch. And it's really soft. And then the other one is Magpie Fibers. Let's see if I can find the... La Di Dottie Swish Domestic Blend, which is her 100% superwash merino. And that's her little card. So I wasn't sure how they would go together. I wanted to try and use something that I hadn't stashed and not buy something new. And I had planned on using this golden yellow for something for my husband. So I thought, well, we'll give it a try and see. And I love it. I love how it turned out together. It's a lot of fun. So this is kind of a ski cap. So you'll knit another hat basically coming out this way. That's what the yellow is going to be, and then fold it inside. So it's doubled up and nice and warm. And you can wear it either with the color work out or with the plain out, depending on your mood. My gauge was pretty close, and I knew what my gauge would be with a fingering weight yarn comparable to hers. My row gauge, so my stitch gauge, my row gauge was way off, and I never really I never really look at row gauge that much. So I hadn't swatched for this. But I think I had 8 more rows in 4 inches than she called for. So it ended up only coming, well, I'll show you. Let's see if I can put it on without getting it off the needles. So it only comes to about here, where I wanted the whole thing to come to about here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to add an extra couple of inches of this. So you'll end up with a border of it, and then you can fold it inside out, if that makes sense. Instead of the color work being one solid side and then the solid color being the other side, you'll actually have a border of the solid color too. And that way I didn't have to frog the whole thing and start over and try and figure out how to adjust my row gauge. Because my stitch count per 4 inches was fine. So I think that'll be really nice. And I imagine I'm going to be knitting another one. I kind of want one in black and then a brighter speckled yarn. I think that would be really cool. So yeah, so this pattern is going to be coming out in January, I believe, and it's by Christina Danai, who's done a bunch of beautiful patterns. And she's also, there's a moth flying around. It better not be a wool moth. They need to stay out of my house. She's also Xtina with wolves on Instagram. So yeah, so that is my other one. And it's hard because I want to knit on it all the time, but I can't because my husband does look at what I'm knitting. I thought that he wouldn't. And in the past, I've knit things and just, you know, he knows I'm always knitting, but I didn't think he was paying attention. So I'd try and, you know, just knit something for him. And he'd stop me like, ooh, what's that new thing? And I was like, darn it. He's seeing his present. So this one I'm hiding. And I realized he knits rarely. My husband does. Maybe once a year he'll get the needles out and make a hat or something. But since he's been doing that for the last few years, he's paid more attention to what I'm working on. So I have to keep this hidden. And I have it in my botanical print bag with a little pin that Mars from Hey Brown Berry sent me. I think it's really cute. Yeah, I had the release for these last Sunday. Yes, for these and a bunch of soft blanks, and they're gone. And thank you so much. It was so much fun packing them up and seeing pictures of them on Instagram when you guys have received them. I love these bags. I just love them. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So she's working on, Ashley, or she's Carolina Spinner on Instagram. She's working on the bigger version, which is going to be, some of them will have a zipper and some of them will actually have a leather strap so they can be more of a tote. So as soon as those are done, I'll let you know. So those are my 2 works in progress. Let's see. Oh, so I told you about the sweater work, Cal, and you can join if you're 50% or less done with your sweater. There are going to be some prizes. One of them was just donated by a designer, Josh Mole, on Ravelry. On Instagram, it's Bryworkin. And I'll put that on here because I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing it right. But she has some really beautiful patterns and has just finished a colorwork sweater. I believe it's going to be out in January, and she has offered to donate a pattern as a prize. So I'll put a picture of it. It's a really beautiful sweater. And thank you very much, Josh, for that. I think it's perfect for this knit along. So that will be one of the prizes that's going into this knit along. If you are on Instagram and you want to post your picture of your colorwork sweater, if you'll hashtag it as colorwork sweater Cal, then we can all take a look at the pictures and see what you guys are doing. So I did some spinning. I had told you that I was getting some of the Hog Island fleece on my wheel, and I really wanted to finish it. I wanted to see how it was going to turn out, and the spinning was easy. It has such crimp that it just pulled itself, and it was really, really lovely spin. This is it. It's a beautiful gray. And I got, so this is only 3 ounces, and you see how massive that is. It was a fluffy, fluffy yarn. It's only 3 ounces, but 480 yards. And this is 2-ply. And it's so squishy. I mean, it's like it's like a sponge. It's so squishy. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Maybe a I don't know, maybe a hat, something squishy, or work it into a sweater or something. This was from the fleece from Nymphadora. She was named in the year. So I talked about this fleece a while ago on my podcast. I think it was this summer. I got this fleece from Mount Vernon, George Washington's home site. They have some rare breed in their livestock, and some of them are the Hog Island sheep, which is a rare type of sheep from Hog Island. And so they are working on helping to ensure the health of the breed. And I was able to get one of the colored fleece, which is a little more rare, from a sheep named Nymphadora, and she was named during the year when they named all their babies after Harry Potter characters. So I thought that was really cool. So I love this. I think it's amazing, but I'm glad it's off the wheel, and I'll tell you why. Though I love natural yarns, farm yarns, neutral colors, I don't really like spinning them. And I want to like spinning them, and I want to make myself a sweater worth. And but I have never done more than one skein at a time of anything. And I've had so many fleeces that I've wanted to spin in the past, and I would either end up sending them to the mill or you know, just continuing to keep them in the back of my closet. So I had to admit to myself, I don't like spinning neutral yarns. I don't like spinning from the fleece. I occasionally like the process of taking the fleece and washing it and spinning a little something, but I've never spun a whole fleece before. I've never spun more than one skein of a whole fleece before, because I'll do it, then I'll be like, okay, I'm done. I know that some people like to spin a whole fleece worth and make sweaters out of it, and I wish I could. Like, I really want to like that, but I just don't. When I sit down, spinning for me, I enjoy it, but I like knitting more. So spinning for me is kind of a one skein kind of thing. I sit down for a couple of days in a row, I make a skein, I put it away, my skein is done. It's finished. That's the end of my project. I don't ever spin something to create something with it. I think I've only once knit with my, no, twice, knit with my hand spun. I knit a shawl, and I knit some gloves, and that's it. All my other hand spun still sitting in my stash, and I realized I just like doing one skein. So my Hog Island fleece, my California red fleece, and a few other things that I had that I kept thinking I was going to spin one day have all gone to a friend of mine who loves spinning fibers like that, but doesn't like colorful roving and top and stuff. And she sent me her colorful roving and top so that I can spin my 4 ounces at a time, have my skein, and be done with it. So yeah, that was a good realization, and it helped because it helped me clean out my closet. It helped me be okay with not going from fleece to sweater. I think I was making myself guilty. I was feeling guilty over that I had these fleece and I had the ability to buy it, wash it, clean it, you know, card it and spin it and make something out of it, but I wasn't. But I just realized I have other things I want to do. I don't want to spend my time doing that, and that's okay. So, so I don't know if I'll ever be buying any more fleeces unless it's specifically to have it spun up at a mill or by a friend. But yeah, I was so excited when this friend of mine was like, yes, that would be awesome. I would love to have those fleeces, and please take my colorful roving. So we did a switch, and she's going to finish spinning this up for me. And we'll do one of the, like a half and half trade. She's going to keep half of the fleece and send half back. It's, I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's generally called spin a pound, get a pound. Where someone else does the spinning for you and you get back half. And that's all I need. They're big fleeces. I don't need the whole thing. So anyway, that is the spinning. The yarn is beautiful. I love it. And I'm excited to put my next thing on the wheel. I don't know what it's going to be. I need to go upstairs and look and see what kind of colorful goodness, sparkly something that I have. So that's it. Oh, I have not heard back from the sock blank winner, and it's been over a month. So I drew another winner. This was from my sock blank knit along, or my sock blank giveaway a couple episodes back. 3 episodes back, I think. So the new winner, I put all the numbers into random.org, and the new number was 99, which is grapes among melons. And she said, it was, my prompt was a favorite memory from a Halloween. My favorite memories from trick-or-treating in elementary school. My family and I had gone around the neighborhood, and our last stop was at a family friend's house. When we got to their door and said trick-or-treat, they brought out a live cat for my family. Of course, we named him Jack O-Lantern. I came to find out later that my parents had set the whole thing up. It was the best Halloween ever. That would be so awesome. Grapes among melons. Congratulations, you're the winner. If you will get in touch with me when you get a chance, through Ravelry or through the comments, probably through Ravelry. If you'll send me a personal message and let me know what your address is, I will send along the sock blank. Congratulations. Okay, what else has been going on? Oh, I have a couple acquisitions I wanted to tell you about. And this one, this first one I am super excited about, partly because it makes me feel festive. So my family, both of our families grew up not really religious. My parents were Roman Catholic because their parents were Roman Catholic, but we didn't really practice. I remember when I was a kid, this is a total aside. I remember when I was a kid, because we didn't practice, we didn't go to church. I didn't really know anything about it except from what I heard from friends or what I heard in the media. But I was trying to figure out heaven and hell and God and Jesus and all of that stuff. And I just remember walking to school one day when I was in elementary school. I was probably like 7 or 8. And, you know, I don't know if you have this in other countries, but there was a rhyme: step on a crack and you break your mother's back, step on a line and you break your father's spine. And it was just this stupid little kid's rhyme, but you had to jump over the lines in the sidewalk. And I remember feeling really scared one day as I stepped on a crack thinking, oh my gosh, I just killed my mother. And then thinking about heaven and hell and whether or not they were real, where she was going to go. I mean, of course, I thought she was going to go to heaven, but then thinking about the devil and stepping on the cracks and how awful it was that I stepped on a crack and if the devil was going to take me. And so all that to say, we weren't a religious family, and my husband's family wasn't really a religious family anyway. So the two of us getting together now, we don't really practice any religion. We have our own spirituality, but we don't practice a specific standard religion. But because our families grew up with Christmas, and some of the Christian holidays, we do celebrate those somewhat. Instead of celebrating the day of Christmas, because our families do, and we often go away, we'll celebrate the winter solstice. We celebrate the changing of seasons a lot. So we put up a solstice tree because the trees were, you know, decorated way before Christianity as a way to symbolize the change of the seasons, and the evergreens, which kept their leaves, and showed that hopefully soon the sun would come back and be bright and bring harvest and all of that. So we celebrate the winter solstice. And my kids a couple years ago found out about Advent calendars. Neither of our families ever celebrated Advent, and I didn't really know what it was. So we looked it up, and both of my kids thought, we want to count down. We want a chocolate calendar, because that's how they heard about Advent. The chocolate calendars they sell in the stores, so you can count down the days till Christmas and open your little calendar and get a little candy. And I was like, well, why is it that so many holidays have to do with candy and treats and, you know, not really what the holiday's about? So anyway, we decided instead that we would have a countdown till the solstice. We'd start on the first day of December and count down to the winter solstice. And for Kaya and Leaf, they would give each other gifts. So they made things for each other, they bought little things for each other, and they had 21 little baggies that they hung up, and each day they'd come out and they'd exchange little gifts. And for my husband and I, we did tea calendars, because we both really like drinking tea in the morning. I thought, well, that'd be a fun way too to build up to the longest day or the longest night of the year. So, so this year I wanted to show you the tea calendars that we got because I know a lot of you drink tea and these are really fun. They're made as advent calendars, so you could certainly use them for that too. The first one is, I got these through Etsy, through T24, and I've not tried either of these yet because it's not time yet, but I just wanted to show you. So this is day 6, so you pull out your day, and this is a loose tea, and on the back it says what it is. I believe that this one has more black teas, so this one might be good for my husband because he likes the black teas more than the, here's day 5. Than the herbals, but this one's definitely an herbal tea. But you don't have to look at it. Like, you can just grab it and know what the number is, then try it, and then find out what's actually in your tea, which is kind of fun. So that's one of them. I believe T-Rev is the name of the company on Instagram. I'll put the links in the show notes. But T24 is what it's called since it's a 24-day little thing. So we'll have some extra teas. And then the other one also on Etsy is from Artful Tea. Here's that. And this one is how this one came packaged. And it says on there directly what it is. So there's the number, and this one's a honey bush. And this one's a masala chai. So you grab your number. Oh, and this one even has clips so you can hang them up. So it's just really fun. It's, you know, a fun way to enjoy your tea and enjoy the season. So I just wanted to share those with you because I thought, I bet there's a lot of you out there that would like something like that. I mean, you can even make them yourself. Go out and get, you know, some of your favorite teas and then grab those, you know, tea bags out and put them in little baggies and hang them up and, you know, mix them up so you don't know what's where, and that would be a lot of fun. So anyway, those are both on Etsy, and I thought, I was hoping to have a giveaway. I thought that'd be a lot of fun to have a giveaway for those, but I realized by the time this went out and a couple weeks went past and we did the giveaway and I drew the winner, it'd be, you know, the middle of December. So I just wanted to show those to you. So if you're interested, you can head to the store and grab those for yourself. Yeah, so let's see. Yarn-wise, I actually picked up a few yarns that I wanted to show you about. I know last episode I talked with you about Elmer, the silly little older doggy who looked like he needed a bath and a lot of love, who was sponsored by Monica of Yarn Experiments. She was doing her puppy love collection, and the money she made from the collection would go towards sponsoring a dog at the local shelter. Well, the next day after she told me she had sponsored him, he was adopted the next day. So he's in his new home and hopefully doing really well, and I was super excited. But I absolutely loved the colorway she made and named for Elmer, so I had to get myself some. And it's sparkly, and I just feel like being sparkly right now. I don't know what I'm gonna make out of these. It's a single ply with the sparkle in it. They are 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. So they'd be great for socks. Even if they are single ply, I think they'd be all right. But I don't know, I may knit this into a shawl or something as part of it. I'm not sure. I just like the sparkle. I'm a sparkly person. And then the other thing I got, which I had to get, is from Dynamics Yarns, which is her daughter, which is Mars and her daughter Adachi, and they did a series of yarns called Maker Muse, where they did colorways based on makers, crafters, knitters, other people, and she made one for me. And this is the Maria colorway, and I had to get it. Of course, there's purple. Actually, I think she based it off of this sweater. I think in the picture that she showed, it was based on this sweater, so how cool is that? So there's a beautiful purple and a gray to go with it. And the gray has some different shades of gray in there. There we go. And that's her logo. And I love this. On the back of the label, there's a spot for your project notes. So you can make notes on what you're doing and also, you know, what you've done with the yarns. And I don't know, it's a nice reference spot right there. So I got those, and then she sent along this more sparkle. which is a beautiful blue and white. So those are my yarny acquisitions that I was very excited about. And I wanted to share those with you because I think they're really beautiful yarns. What else has been going on? You can probably hear Isabella. She's been meowing at me for a while, so let me let her say hi. I guess she's mad that I don't have the hat sitting on the back of the couch. That was so hysterical. How many of you commented, get the cat off the hat? She's on the blanket. She's such a sneak. Say hi, Isabella. She looks so grumpy, but she's really not. Right? She's really not so grumpy. She's just an old lady. She's going to be 15 in a few months. She looks like a kitten, but she's not. She's just a small breed. I think that's it as far as yarny things and stash. So one thing I wanted to share with you then, this is the last thing, is something that the kids and I have been doing. Leaf loves hands-on things. He's a very active, energetic child. And he focuses best when he's got something in his hands. Even when we're sitting down doing school, if he's fiddling with something, he focuses better. So the time that he's the most quiet and focused is when he's got Play-Doh or clay or mud or something that he's molding in his hands. So I was thinking that he would really love pottery. He's done, hand building stuff at home before, but he's never been on a pottery wheel or done, pottery that's been fired, glazed, and all of that. So we found a woman in town. Her Instagram is Honey Creek Pottery, and she has a lovely studio where she does small classes. So he was super interested, and it was just going to be him. And then I thought, well, maybe Kaya would like to, because she's been into hand building stuff lately. She's like, yeah, that'd be fun. So she was going to do it. And then I thought, well, I want to do it too, because about 20 years ago, I thought I wanted to be a potter. I was not happy where I was doing nursing, and I took a few pottery classes and just loved it. So for a couple years there, I was doing a lot of pottery. So anyway, the three of us for the last 4 weeks have been taking private pottery classes with this woman, Ashley, who's been amazing. She had 3 wheels, so if we wanted to, we could sit at a wheel and we could throw things on the wheel. She also had a bunch of, tables for hand building. So we were all loving it. We really looked forward to our Wednesday evenings. And Kaya has a big presentation that's actually happening probably right now at one of her classes where she's going to be doing a presentation on Pompeii. And one of the things she decided she wanted to build was an amphora, like the ones that they had back in those days for carrying wine and olive oil and water and all of that stuff. So she hand built an amphora while she was there, and it's with her right now. So I'll post a picture of it so you can see. And she did it in 2 hours, and then glazed it and finished it all this past week. And we just picked it up yesterday, and it came out really well. Both kids had a knack for it and really enjoyed it. So we may be doing more. I really want my own wheel. I've always wanted my own wheel, but space and time and money. But maybe one day I will have my own wheel. But I wanted to show you a few things that they made because they were super excited about them. Let's see. So Leaf did a lot of coil building. So this is one of his. It's hefty, but I love how it turned out. She would put some clay in an extruder, pull down on the handle, and then it would extrude this long, rope of yarn of clay. And so he built this up to make a nice pot. And it has some holes in the bottom, so he's going to use it as a plant pot. And then he also did this on the wheel. He made this little pot, and then he made a top for it. It was actually supposed to be a plate, but we realized it was the perfect size for a pot. Now, I don't think that's too bad for an 8-year-old. I think he did a great job. But I think it'd be super sweet for jewelry or little knickknacks or something. So he's really happy about that. And then let me show you a couple of things that Kaya did. Oh, this is one of my favorites. She took 2 different types of clay, and she mashed them together just enough that when she put it on the wheel, she got this beautiful, beautiful bowl with spiralized clay. And then she just used a glaze, a clear glaze on top so you could really see it. Let's see. And I did a bunch of stuff. I kind of went nuts. I made these cute little things, which are rough, but they're like little soy sauce bowls. Let's see if you can see. And if you look in there, I pressed leaves inside. So you can see an oak leaf hydrangea leaf kind of along the edge in there. So I made a bunch of those just for fun. And then I wanted something to sip hot chocolate out of. So I made this one and dipped it in a red and a blue. And I made this one too, a couple of the hot chocolate ones. And, oh, this was a fun one. This was another one that you kind of, these weren't on the wheel. These were ones that we rolled out the clay and then cut the shapes out. So this is kind of like a cheese tray, but isn't that cool? That's an oak leaf hydrangea and an ivy leaf in there. And I really love how that one turned out. And then I did a few plates and bowls also. This one, I dipped it in a blue glaze and it really collected along this edge, like it got really thick. So when I went to fire it, that whole edge turned drippy, which I think is super cool. So there's the bowl. And this one I did with that marbleized clay too. We did that. And then I've got a couple plates. There's so much more stuff, but Kaya has a lot of it in her room. This was just a simple plate that I did, but I really like the glaze. And this is the one that I put on my Instagram stories that some of you saw, where I dipped the whole thing in this, it looked black, but it was kind of a golden glaze. And then I put it on the wheel and I squirted on two different types of glaze. One was a spiral in the middle and it looked red, and you can barely even see that. That kind of just melded into it. And the other one looked like another color of glaze, like black or something, but you can kind of see how it spiraled out. And what I did is I put it off center and put the wheel on so it would go around like this. And then I just held my hand in place and let it make an off-center spiral. Then I moved it again and did another one. Then I moved it again and did another one. So I had all kinds of off-center spirals on there. And I love how that turned out. I think it's really cool. So yeah. Oh, and look, that's another one of those mixed clay ones with the white and the red clay. So we had so much fun. I know this really doesn't have anything to do with homeschooling. It just has to do with, I guess, making time and recognizing the things that bring you joy. But I came about this realization through homeschooling in that those things that I feel like will encourage my kids in their learning and inspire them in their passions, and myself, that we should take time for. We have a little more flexibility to do that because of our homeschool type schedule. But just because you don't homeschool or just because you don't have kids, you know, wherever you are in your life, doesn't mean that you can't take the time to recognize those things that inspire your passions, or your creativity. So it was really nice to have found that class and to have met this amazing woman who I feel like we've now become friends with and will remain in our life in one way or another. It also, like, the kids felt like they had accomplished a lot. They had these beautiful things to show, and those accomplishments have bolstered their self-esteem. So it was really nice to see. So anyway, I just wanted to share those with you. We haven't yet gone on a trip in the camper. We were going to a couple weekends ago, and both kids got the sniffles and weren't feeling well, so we decided not to. on Saturday night, Toby and Leaf drove up our road to my mother-in-law's house and parked in her driveway so that they could camp out and sleep in the camper. But we haven't had our first big trip yet, but we're excited about it. We're still working on renovations and stuff, and we'll probably be working on those for the next few months, but hopefully we'll take a trip in the next couple of weeks. So I think that is it. I hope you are all doing really well. Come say hi if you want in the thread on Ravelry. Introduce yourself if you feel like it. It's always great to get to know you guys a little bit better since I don't see many of you the way you see me through YouTube. So it's always nice to hear you guys, hear what you guys are up to in Ravelry and stuff like that. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you have a fabulous next couple of weeks. If you're in the States, I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. And I give thanks for all of you. You guys have really brightened my life up in the past almost year now. It'll be a year next month, I think, January 1st, that I've been podcasting. So thank you all for everything that you bring into my life. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a beautiful few weeks. See you soon.